We're catching up with James Tierney from Riverina Livestock Agents from Wagga Wagga. How are you going, James?
Yeah, going well, thanks, Ricky.
And how are the sales gone? Let's look at the sheep. You've just reporting into us just off the back of that. How are the sheep sales gone at Wagga this week?
Yeah, just loading the sale yards now. We had a pretty good sale actually today, Ricky. It was a lot better than, but it had been a fair bit cheaper everywhere else right through the week. And today she sort of really kicked off. Our heavy lambs are $10 to $20 dearer. Better end of the lambs sort of back into the 270s. So they're sort of $7 to $7.50 a kilo, and trade lambs $10 or $15 dearer as well today. So that was pretty pleasing and a bit unexpected too.
Was that because there was a bit more active interest from the buying side?
There was. Also a few less numbers, back to 32,000 lambs, which has been sort of in the mid 40s. So there was definitely more interest as well there, but the lesser yarding sort of certainly helped that as well.
Yeah, so the traditional sort of yarding across in there in Wagga Wagga is usually that large. For those whose socks have just been blown off by those numbers, you're usually around even a higher figure at this time of year.
Yeah, we can be. Total yarding 2 weeks ago, we yarded just about 60,000 with our mutton, whereas today, 31,000 lambs and only, I think, about 5,500 mutton, so back 37,000. So, I know that's sort of fairly high for some areas, but it's sort of probably a little bit on the lighter end of the numbers for us, but it's sort of definitely helped the market. Our old sheep were $10 or $15 dearer as well today on the back of those low numbers, so it definitely helped.
Yeah, when we spoke with you a few months ago, you had a bit of a whiff of concern arising about how exposed we might be on foot and mouth disease, and the market did take a sort of opposite direction to what you expect for the start of a spring flush, but I guess from the sounds of that pricing and activity, there might be a spring flush back on now.
It's been hard enough. There's been, that foot and mouth thing was definitely a factor at the start. I don't think I don't think it's at the front of people's minds as much now. Probably the biggest thing holding prices back, if you look year on year, we're probably a fair way behind per kilo, like we'd be $1 to $1.20 or $30 a kilo off last year. And the biggest thing with that is just processors not getting enough through their abattoirs. The workforce shortage, and there's been plenty of lambs around. So, it was pleasing to see today.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's the other thing that's been coming up is challenges at the processor end, which is probably a good way to segue across to what happened earlier in the week on the cattle sales. How did things go there?
Yeah, a fair bit brighter there also. It's the last couple of weeks it's got a bit dearer, but it had backed off a fair way, the cattle job. But on Monday we saw pretty well across the board, a lot of it 10 to 20 cents dearer, and some of your restocking cattle more. The backbone of it, the cow job, out to sort of $4.15 a kilo, which, that's a long way up there in terms of where we've seen. I mean, we probably saw it get a little bit dearer than that at times earlier in the year, but not a lot. So, it's certainly in the top 5% of where it's been, the cow market. And, feeder cattle were strong, and kill cattle, a lot of those are 10 to 20 cents dearer, so pretty positive there. 1,800 cattle yarded here, it's not massive for here at all, but it's a few more than what we've had the last couple of weeks. And, it feels like it's sort of found a bit of a base again, the cattle job, which is good.
Yeah, it is. This does seem, from what we've been tracking on the Eastern Young Cattle Indicator nationwide, that whilst it had a bit of a panic and went below 900 cents, it's well and truly back on the climb again, somewhere between about 10.25 or 10.30 nationwide.
It picked up a long way. I think for a little while the restocking cattle all of a sudden did look fairly cheap for 2 or 3 weeks. I think there was that foot and mouth fear, and no one sort of knew, there was tight enough feed over here in the eastern part of the state, pretty wintry. But now all of a sudden I think people can see a bit of feed growing, probably not as much fear of foot and mouth, and there's a little bit more confidence there. So put the restockers back into it. It puts pressure on the feed lot, which then puts pressure on the actual meat processing side. So it's all a bit of a chain reaction.
Yeah, which is all positive for the producer. Some good news there and good to hear some optimism. James Tierney from Riverina Livestock Agents, thanks for checking in for us today. What's happened at the Wagga markets?
No worries at all, Ricky.